Let's welcome Mr. Ken Wong, APAC Product Marketing Director of Citrix, to share with us on the topic, Software-Defined Workspace. Please welcome Mr. Wong.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Ken. I am the Product Management Director for APAC, so I look after all the products that we have in Citrix, and I do engage with customers and partners to basically hear the feedbacks from customers and partners about our products and any areas that we need to improve. I think it's very honored today to be speaking to all of you, and I thank you because it is raining out there, and we were a bit worried in terms of the numbers of attendees for today's. But again, thank you very much for coming to join us for this session. So my topic is very simple. I have about 30 minutes with you. I want to quickly share with you about the visions of Citrix. What are we looking at moving forwards from Citrix? And what are the areas that we are specifically focusing at over the next 1 or 2 years. So the first thing that I want to quickly bring everybody back to where we started off. Citrix is always a company that is very focused on innovation, and we are looking at the best way to help our customers to solve the issues that they have day in, day out in their working environment. So in 2003, we started as the leaders of providing secure access for our customers to their work environment. So that's where we started. So we provide secure access, and eventually we look at our customers and we understand from our customers there's actually we actually need more than that. So over the year from 2003 to 2014, we actually walked through a journey in terms of bringing our customers the way to access to their network, the way to virtualize their environments, and the ways to actually actually provide a mobile workspace for the customers' environments. Now, we have done many things, and we have done quite a number of things along the way. So as you can see, that this is the way that we actually build out our business, and throughout the years, how we actually grow the companies from an secure access company to what we have today, provide a mobile workspace for our customers. Now, over the years, we actually do different things to bring all these things together. All right, so which is until like now, right? So the next thing, I think this is the key questions that a lot of the customer has been asking us about. What is the next thing? All right, so now you have the remote, you have the secure access, you have the networking components that basically help the customers connect into the data centers effectively. We help the customers to virtualize their apps, to virtualize their desktop. Now we elevate to basically provide mobile support, mobile workspace support to our customers. So the question is, what's next? What is the things that we need to do? Or what is the things that what we think customers want in their environments? Now, before I move on, all right, so I will share with you a quick videos, and Daniel here is going to help me to set up the videos and to give you a glimpse in terms of what we are doing moving forwards, okay? So let's play the video. So thank you. So that's a glimpse about what we are thinking. So a glimpse about how do we bring technologies together to help our customers, not only helping them to achieve the things that they want to do at work, but also how do we blend into a work-life balance style. So making sure that our customers is able to carry out their work at anywhere, at any time, and with any devices that they have on hand at the moment. All right, so now let me take a step back and look at what is defining all this. What is the industry looking at today, and where are we today? So the first thing that I want to point to your attention is that mobilities or mobile is actually getting more and more popular, as everybody knows. Let me have a show of hands in terms of how many mobile devices that I think the audience has. So any one of you has more than like 2 mobile devices? Please raise your hand. 3? All right, more than 3. So, and I see 1. All right, so more than 3 devices. Okay, so I don't know about you guys. I carry at least 3 devices every day when I go to work. Okay, I have my mobile phone, which is a fantastic tool in terms of carry out day in, day out work. I have a pad, mobile devices that when I need a bigger screen, when I need to look at a little bit more information in a bigger text, given that I have like eyesight problems. All right, so I use a pad, and I carry a computers when I travel, so when I go to work. And all these 3 devices, and not including the watch, so all these 3 devices actually giving me flexibilities in terms of acquiring information and to do my work. And I don't do a lot of work in the office. In fact, I am not in the office most of the time. All right, the place that I did most of my work is in the airport. So when I travel, all these different devices is actually helping me. So as you can see, the data actually show you. So in APAC region, including Japan, there are 650 million users, okay, accessing internet using mobile only. All right, so this excludes users who access the internet using their desktop or their computers. So purely using mobile phone. So we have 650 million people in APAC doing that every day. So mobile phone is one of the very, very productive devices today for our users. Now on top of that, and these are more data that basically suggest to you that, moving into mobility is definitely not that far away anymore. All right, so you have 69% of information workers today, working outside of the office, just like me. Okay, I work in the airport, I work in the restaurants, I work in my partner's office, I work in my customer office. All right, and I spend very minimum times in my own office. All right, so, and some of the survey also suggests that the employee today, or the Z or the Z generation today, they feel that they are not being equipped with the equipment or the technology that they need to in order for them to carry out their job. All right. Now, the other 66%, which is us, within the IT organization, providing the solutions for our customers, we are kind of hesitant a little bit in terms of opening up all these tools for our user to use, because we are concerned about securities. We are concerned about how these data is being shared across all these devices. So bear in mind that these devices that we talk about, they are not necessary devices that are issued by organization. It can be a personal handphone, it can be a personal tablet, or it can be even a personal PC, with BYOD and BYOC initiative. So IT is concerned about how we provide these data to our user securely. All right. So, and there are more IT challenges that we are actually facing when we talk about mobilities. All right. So these are the few things that we basically consolidate based on the feedback of our customers. All right. So different type of applications. All right. How many different type of applications do we have today? We have plenty. Okay. We have Windows application. Traditionally, we have Windows applications. We have browser-based application. Now, to add more complication to it today, we have native mobile applications that enterprises are using today to help them to carry out their work. All right. So the second challenges that we are seeing is that there are more and more demand in terms of BYOD. All right. So it is no longer something that organization is thinking whether they should be doing it or not. All right. So BYOD at this point of time, all right, organizations are thinking about when should they start doing it. It's no longer whether if they should do it or they should not do it. All right. So in fact, based on the data, based on the survey that we are seeing, researchers or analysts are telling us by 2017, majority of the organization is going to basically adopt the BYOD initiative. All right, meaning they will either mandate or they will suggest that the program is going to be run in their organization so employee can use the devices that they want to use at their wish. All right. So the last thing in terms of from these challenges is really the data. So I think that is the most important part for the organization. It is really the heart of the organization whereby data, intellectual property is the most important thing. So the challenge is how do we protect these data, but in the meantime, giving flexibilities to the employee so that they can access to the data and conduct their day in, day out work, throughout the day. So the current solution that we have, the challenges of the current solutions that we have is how do we integrate all these issues or all these challenges together and make it a solution that is viable to our customers. All right. Hence, there are different ways of looking into these things. Or hence, that is where people are looking into right now. So the very, very simple concept that we demonstrate over here is that the question is really how do we create a workspace, okay, that allow the employee, okay, to use any of the application, access to the data from anywhere with any devices, okay, from the user perspective. This is how we look at it. The second thing is about how about IT. It is really looking at how to basically provide these different solutions from anywhere. So be it private cloud, be it public cloud, or be it SaaS-based application, okay? Now, hence, over the years, over the 1.5 years to 2 years, we start talking about mobile workspaces. We start talking about providing a mobile workspaces that can securely facilitate application, desktop, and data, okay, over a secure connections and allow the users to be able to access all these different elements, from any devices that they like to use, okay? Now, for Citrix, when we look at this vision and when we look at the mobile workspaces or when we look at workspaces for the enterprises, one of the things that really come into our mind, all right? So one of the things that come into our mind is really what is workspace, all right? So how do we make sure that the workspace is really something that is beneficial to our users, okay? So with that, the key considerations that we have in mind, okay, are really these 5 elements that needs to be addressed, okay? So the devices. Now, how do we make sure that any of these devices that the users are using will be able to connect to the workspace that they want to work, all right? Applications. How do we make sure that application can be facilitated independence on the platform, independence of the devices that they are using, all right? So the same application can be facilitated through a PC, can be facilitated through a MacBook, can be facilitated through an iPad. So how do we make sure that happen, all right? And content, which is the data itself, the most important part of the core of the workspace. How do we make sure that the data is following the users? So when you switch from one device to another device, just like me, when I switch from my PC to my iPad and to my mobile phone, I can access the same data that I need to, okay, in order to carry out my work, all right? So security, important thing, because we talk about putting applications and data into devices that may not even owned by organization, all right? So how do we ensure that the data, the application is secure when it is landing on the mobile devices? And how do we actually provide connectivity that is secure when the user is basically outside of the enterprise network? All right. So the most important part of this entire workspace vision that we have is how about the workforce? Who are the workforce? The workforce are people like you and people like me who are actually using it. All right. So how do we make sure that the user experience of these people, they're having the great user experience, very easy for them to use the apps, very easy for them to access the data without worrying much about securities, without worrying much about how do I make the connection. All right, so these are the few elements that we are considering when we are looking at our vision. Now, it kind of summarizes into these three categories that we look at when we look at our visions in terms of what Citrix want to do moving forward in the futures. Okay, so these are the three key things that we want to make sure that it is built into our solution so that our customers can benefit from it. All right, experience. Let's talk about experience. Okay, we want to give the customers the best experience that they can get, no matter what they're using, no matter what devices that they are using, no matter where they are connecting into the data centers. All right, we want to give them the best performance. Okay, so that they enjoy using the solution, they enjoy using the apps, they can carry out their work effectively. So that's the number one things that we think of when we talk about experience. So later I have an example because I won't be able to talk through all the products that we have. So which my colleague is going to basically help to share with you more about from a individual product perspective. But I will show you an example when we talk about experience, what do we mean by that? All right. So the second thing is about securities. All right. Now, this is like one of the key things that stopping a lot of organizations to go mobilities. How do we make sure it is secure? All right. So in Citrix, we put a lot of efforts into the products or the solutions that we are developing. We are making sure that our product is compliant to the securities compliance that our customers want to adopt. Like for example, it's like FIP 140 compliant. All right. So that is one of the focus areas that we do. So we make sure that our mobile devices is being encrypted with FIP 140 compliance encryption technology. Okay. Now we are also certified on the well-known certification by the certification body. It's like common criteria certification. So security is a serious thing for Citrix. Security is a serious consideration every time when we develop our products and when we basically roll out our products in our customers' environments. So the last thing is really where it tied out in terms of both for the users and both for the IT. So for the user, the flexibility is you can work from anywhere. You can use any devices that you like, okay, in order for you to do your day-to-day work. All right, so that's the flexibility given to the users. How about IT? Okay, we also want to provide flexibility to the IT, whereby we provide you option in terms of how do you choose to deploy your solution. Do you want to do it in private cloud? Do you want to do it in public cloud? Or do you want to do it in hybrid cloud? All right, or even do you want to choose to use a SaaS-based technology instead of like hosting all these different solutions on your own? All right, we give you that flexibilities, and that's where we look at it. Okay, that's where we look at how to provide a workspace to our customers. All right, now the four key things in our vision today. All right, so we talk about the top. All right, whereby the experience about devices, about the apps, about the securities. So about allowing you to deploy it in any cloud. So you can see that data centers, traditional and converged infrastructures, and the public cloud. So these are the different options that we give you. But really, the core of this is in the middle, the four buckets that you're looking at, the four blue boxes that you're looking at. So we are looking at a few things. So unified. What is the unified experience of apps, desktop deliveries? Okay. Now, once we have that, how do we actually deliver it to our customers? All right. Now, beside all these traditional applications or beside all these traditional solution that we are looking at, how about SaaS-based application, allowing customers to be more effective when they are communicating to their partners and communicating to their employee? All right. Last is really the infrastructures that is sitting at the bottom that basically help you to develop it. All right. Now, so last year we talked about mobile workspace. we talk about enabling our customers in terms of how do they mobilize their solutions, how do they mobilize their environment so their users can take advantage of the mobile devices or the devices that they are using. All right. So what we are looking at today, it's like what we want to emerge or we evolve into moving forward is to really looking at a workspace that can be software defined. Okay, a workspace that can be defined by putting different software together, by putting different solutions together, and allowed you to deliver all these different services that we are looking at. Like the first part that I want to look at, again, is really where the workspace services is sitting. Because this is where the areas that most of the organizations care about today. This is where the application is sitting, okay? Be it Windows-based application, web-based application, SaaS-based applications, and mobile applications. So this is where we are talking about what is the solution that can effectively help you to basically facilitate this application, okay? Given any type of this application. And how the software actually being put together to help you to achieve that, all right? So the second part that I want to talk about is really the delivery mechanism of it. So once you have it, once you have your apps, your desktop, it's like being set up or being hosted nicely in your organization or in your data centers, then the next thing that you are looking at is really how do I deliver this to my users? How the users can effectively connect into the data centers, connect into the enterprise store so they can use these applications and they can use the data that they want to get access to carry out their work. So this is an area where we have to have a network components of it that allow the connectivities into the data centers and help you to bridge the connections between the data centers and the end users. Now, most importantly, security. Okay? We want to make sure that these connectivities that we are providing or this delivery mechanism that we are providing to our user is secure. All right? So the third thing is really the mobility application side. So today, more and more organization is looking at moving from Windows applications to mobile application. All right? So one of the good example in this case is that one of the good examples of the mobile applications that I would like to share with you is really email, as simple as email. All right? So how many of you actually read your email with your mobile phone? Okay, not reading your email from the mobile phone. Right? So everybody read email from the mobile phone, right? So, and in fact, I read 90% of my email on the mobile phone. All right? Because that is the things that we want. That's the things that we find it very effective for us from a day in and day out work, day in and day out, our day in and day out life. Now, we don't just stop there. All right? Customers actually want more than email on their mobile devices. They want to be able to carry out simple workflow on the mobile devices. They want to be able to approve some of the activities that is being submitted to them. Like they want to approve claim, they want to approve leave, they want to carry out simple workflow tasks on mobile devices. And that is where mobile devices, the demand on the mobile applications is increasing today. All right, because that is one of the most effective way for you to carry out your day-to-day work. All right, so last is really the platform itself. All right, so we went through like different periods of IT, right? So we have like consolidation, we have distributed environment, we have three-tier architectures. So if you're in the IT long enough over the past 20 years, so we went through that cycles. And what are we talking today? Okay, what we are talking today is really provide a more flexible infrastructure for our customers. We want to provide infrastructures that can carry out certain level of automation. We want to be able to provide infrastructures that allow our customers to be monitoring it, to be able to basically run the operations within that infrastructure effectively. And most importantly, if you look at the infrastructure today, so it consists of the three infrastructures that we had at the bottom of the chart. Okay, you're no longer only looking at your data centers. You're no longer only looking at the private cloud. Okay, you are also considering public cloud. You are also considering converged infrastructures. Now the challenge is, how do you bring all these together? Okay, chances of an organization by 2017 having a hybrid cloud model is very high. All right, according to the analysts, so they are seeing like it's going to be more than 50% of the customers, of the enterprises are going to have an hybrid cloud setup in their environment. Now, once you have that, okay, the question is, how do you manage them? All right, how do you manage? Do you manage them as siloed? No, you don't want to manage them as siloed. All right, do you want to automate them across these different data centers? The answer is yes, and that is where we are focusing at, and that is where we are actually looking at how we build our vision moving forward, and we want to make sure that our vision allows you to use software to define all this. So you can simply use software to define the workspace that you want to design. Okay? No, doesn't matter. It is app, it is window, it is desktop, it is network, it is mobile, or it is infrastructures. We want you to be able to use software to be able to define that. Now, if you look at this, all right, the vision of Citrix into software-defined network, it has been there for the past 1 year. All right, we have been working very hard on that, and you can see that based on what we are seeing today. Industry is actually endorsing that concept. Okay, so yesterday, VMworld just announced that. Okay, they announced that they want to basically allow customers to access applications, information through all devices, but they're still not there yet. But in fact, for us, over the past 3 years, we allow our customers to access their information, the applications from about 3 billion devices all over the world. So we support Android, we support Windows, we support Mac, we support iOS. All right? And we define that vision to allow customers to do that. And we continue focus in terms of making sure that what the customers want to see today and what the customers want to use in the future is aligned with the vision. All right? So as you can see on the screen, I kind of list out all the technologies and all the products that we carry today to help you to fulfill those workloads that you may be supporting, okay? You may want to use, all right? So the next thing that I want to quickly share with you, I talk about experience, all right? I talk about 3 billion devices that we are able to allow our customers to use in order to access to their workloads, okay? And it is one of the tools, or it is one of the engineerings that we have done, okay, with receiver that allows you to do that. All right, we talk about user experience. Okay, what do we mean by user experience in this case? So one of the very key components to help us to achieve this vision is really receiver, and it has been there for a long time. And for receiver, we support 3 billion devices. We support Windows, we support Android, we support iOS. Okay, we support Windows Phone. All right, and all this Chromebook and any HTML5 compliant devices. As long as you run an HTML5 on that device, you'll be able to access your apps. You'll be able to access your store. All right. Now, the best thing about the user experience, when we talk about user experience, is not only just the app itself. The app is the apps. All right. So the good thing about the experience that we are talking about is that with receiver, it doesn't matter what devices that you're using. You can be using Android device. You can be using iOS device, Windows device, MacBook. All right. What you are seeing and what you're experiencing is consistent across all this receiver. Okay? Meaning, okay, all you need to know is to know how to use receiver on Windows. So once you know how to use it on Windows, it is consistent across all the devices. The look and feel, the way that you enroll your application, the way that you launch your application, it is consistent. All right? So we just had a recent release of the latest receiver across all these different platforms. So I encourage you to basically download it to take a look, so connect into our demo centers that you can actually experience how receiver actually behave across all different platforms. All right, to you, it is a good thing because you do not need to train your users anymore, all right, over and over again on different devices. The moment that they master one receiver experience, they master all receiver experience. Okay? Now, on top of that, this is what we are seeing, from app perspective. All right? And in fact, if you look at the screen, that is pretty much that you see on receiver. All right? So you see that it is on, this is on MacBook, this is on Android, Windows phone, okay? This is on the Android phone, PC, and iOS. So if you look across, they are the same. All right? And more importantly, you know, it's like, if you look at all these apps over here, it gives you a very consistent look and feel in such a way that it doesn't matter what apps you're talking about. All right? It doesn't matter if you're talking about a mobile apps, a Windows apps, a SaaS-based application, a web-based applications. They all show up in the store. We all facilitate it through a single store that your users will actually be able to download this application or to access to these applications. All right? Independent on the platform that the application needs to run on. Okay? Now, I'm coming to the end of my presentation. Okay? So one of the things that I want to basically stress the point is that when we design our vision, when we look at our vision in terms of what we want to do, we are not just looking at technology. Okay? Technology is important. All right? Technology enables us to basically do things that we want to do. But most important to Citrix is that we also want to focus on the use cases that you are using today. All right? Meaning, we want to focus at how you use the technology. And we want to make sure that our technology today, you know, so when we design it, it is designed for you to basically capitalize, for you to basically can choose and actually deploy in your environments and do good things for your organization. So we look at multiple different use cases that our workspace, okay, our software-defined workspace can help you to basically resolve. Okay, things like BYOD initiative. Okay, if you have engineering departments, the use case for engineering is there. All right, so corporate laptops, your mobile access. So all these different use cases that we are looking at, you know, so it is really getting the feedback from you in terms of what you want to do with these type of technology. Okay, and that is where our focus area is at as well. All right, so what is the top three things that we want to do that we think that you should consider Citrix? All right, so number one, okay, so we enable business mobility. So we talk about email. All right, well, on top of email, we have more than email. We enable simple workflow. We work with vendors very closely to make sure that their application is compliant to Citrix platform. Hence, provide you a maximum securities within these mobile environments. Okay, so we provide the leading workspace technology. So when you look at workspace, all right, mobile phone and mobile native mobile application is one of them. All right, so how about your native applications in Windows? All right, so there is a survey out there in the market that basically look at enterprises today. All right, so there is a percentage of Windows-based applications that are still running in the enterprises. So anybody has an idea in terms of what is that percentage? I'll give you three choices. All right, so this is what I gathered from the previous answer. A, 30%. B, 60%. C, 80%. So who think is A? Put up your hand. How about B, 60%? Okay. How about C, 80%? All right. So the answer for this is 80 to 90% of the applications that are running in the enterprises today, they are still Windows-based application. All right. You're going to see more and more mobile-based application, but today in enterprises, you are still having 80 to 90% of Windows-based applications in the enterprise environment. Now, out of these applications, the 80 to 90%, about 80% of them are actually web-based. All right, so isn't that amazing? So web-based application is actually about 80% of the Windows applications that is running in a Windows environment. All right, so the challenge is how do you mobilize that? And we already have solutions with Citrix for the past 10 years that help you to do that. All right, so the third thing that you should consider is really, this is where the strength is Citrix this is really what Citrix strength is, and we don't see any of our competitors actually doing that. Okay, it's really the integrations of all the products. All right, so we have the end-to-end solution that basically integrate the front end all the way to the data centers and with the networking components. Okay, so if you go out today and look at different vendors, you will not find this integration. In fact, Gartner's actually gave us very, very high rating in terms of both Gartner's and IDC actually gave us very high rating on the integration part alone. All right, so what does that mean to you in this case? It means that you do not have to buy piecemeal application and spend great effort in terms of putting all the integration into your effort and make all these different products work for you. Now for Citrix, all right, so all these products are integrated and it will work with you, it will work for you without much integrations. Okay? So I talk about the leader on the mobile workspace. Okay, this is what I'm talking. So I'm from Citrix. All right, so you may not be. I would say good things about Citrix. How about the peoples out there? So this is really the latest Magic Quadrants from Gartner's. Okay, from the left to the right. All right, so these are the components that the industry believe that if you want to get a workspace, a mobile workspace working, these are the elements that you need. So the Enterprise Mobility Management Suite, the file and synchronization and sharing, and also the application delivery controllers. Okay, so the first two parts was really the components that you put together in order to get your environment working to facilitate application, desktop, mobile application, managing your devices, and so on. The last part is really the networking part. Okay, Citrix is the only company that is in the leader quadrants across all these three Magic Quadrants. All right, so and the left-hand two, they are the latest Magic Quadrant, which is just published in June and July. Okay, on the right-hand side, the ADC, it was published last year, and we are expecting one coming later next month. Okay, so and we believe that we will still continue to be in that leadership quadrant. And if you can see on the ADC, it is really there are two players out there. Okay. Now, we also have some case studies that we want to share with you. All right, so I have like 1 minute left. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but we actually have different scenarios. Like for example, in this case, it's a BYOD scenario in a healthcare. So the objective is to allow the customers, in this case, to use the mobile devices that they are used to and access to the information that they need to access in order to carry their day in, day out work. Okay? And most importantly in these use cases is that while allowing them to do that, they are still HIPAA compliant. All right? So this is obviously an American company because in the healthcare there is a standard that is being defined in the healthcare industry, so which is called HIPAA, I think HIPPA or PAA. HIPAA, so HIPAA. So there is a compliance that every healthcare institute needs to comply to. All right. So and in this case, we are enabling the customers to use BYOD devices and accessing to the information that they are accessing to without sacrificing their securities concern. Okay. So the second case is really that allowing our customers to basically enable MDM to manage their environment. So they are not very happy with the existing vendors, okay, that they were using because it will only allow them to do very limited things, not allowing them to control their applications, not allowing them to use profile to basically control the behavior of the devices. So because of that, they kind of like look into Citrix solutions to help them to basically achieve what they want to achieve. All right. So the last part is really the manufacturing. Okay. So this is a BlackBerry case. You remember I talked about email, and they are a heavy BlackBerry users. Now, when they decided to switch away from BlackBerry, so not only they are looking at the email, they are also looking at what sort of other things that they can do using a mobile workspace solution, and hence basically they have chosen Citrix, and they have upgraded to Citrix to help them to achieve some of the challenges, to meet some of the challenges, and to basically carry out the resolutions that they want by choosing the technology, the mobile workspace technology. Now, to summarize, all these 3 customers, they were existing Citrix customers. All right. So one of the things that we help our customers in our offering is to make it simple for our customers to acquire the workspace solutions license. So we do actually package together a workspace suite that allow customers to own all the technologies that they need to basically deploy a workspace environment in their organization. Okay, so that basically concludes my presentation, and this is very true. And at the end of the day, say the vision of Citrix is we hope to enable our customers, okay, and our users to work better and live better. We want to make sure that our users can work at any locations that they have, can work at any time given, all right, can use any devices. Okay, with that, I thank you for attending our session and enjoy the rest of the event. Thank you.